living room of a cabin just off the Appalachian Trail. It is a manifestation of Juniper's talent and vision, a highly curated, uncluttered sense of shabby chic, spotless, and immaculate. We might believe we are in a catalog, except for some tastefully arranged photos of Juniper and Blake, and the shabby, comfy, everything you want from a couch pull-out sofa that seems out of place. At one end of the room, there are two doors, to the bedroom and to the bathroom. Through the open door to the bedroom, we hear breath. We hear sex. Juniper moaning. It is not obscene. It is transportive. Something in the light is shifting. As Juniper comes, Maeve appears in the threshold of the living room, ethereal, feral, here and not here. A woman who looks like she just fell off a cliff. In the subsequent quiet, Maeve limps into the living room. She is mangled and covered in mud. Her boots leave a trail of dirt. She carries a backpack which drops to the floor with a thud as she takes in the room. She sits on the couch. She smells the couch. She smells herself. She roams about the living room, looking through whatever cabinets and drawers there might be. She sits. Maeve notices a blazer on the edge of the couch. She smells the blazer. She empties the pockets. Phone, wallet, ring of keys. Maeve looks through the keys and finds the one to this house. She removes that key. We hear Juniper laughing. Maeve is startled. She returns the items to the blazer's pockets. Juniper is still laughing, now with Blake. Maeve smells the couch again. There is something more primal, more desperate about it this time. She lifts various pillows to her face. She pulls up the cushions, sticks her head into the opening, and inhales deeply. She is weakened. The couch seems to swallow her. Juniper appears in the doorway, pulling on a shirt over her head.
I want to try this again. Did you hear me? I want to come into this place with you again.
Are you talking to yourself?
Are you listening to me?
What?
I said,
I can't understand what you're saying. Come back here and...
I want to come into this place with you again. For the first time, like with a little more intentionality, you know, as us, as ours.
Blake emerges, disheveled but mostly still in her work clothes. She wraps her arms around Juniper from behind.
Why don't you...
I think it's important, you know, how you make a new home with somebody. It's an incredible beginning. You know, it's a celebration, a ceremony of the life soon to be lived within these walls. You're not even listening to what I'm saying.
Why don't you hop in my arms and I'll carry you across the threshold while we're at it.
Well, I guess that's a possibility. You're making fun of me, and I just want everything to be perfect. Perfect.
I think it is.
Juniper starts rummaging through a suitcase.
Did you pack my...
Juniper hands Blake a bottle of allergy meds. Blake takes one.
Well, the pine is really messing with my sinuses.
Where's that? I know I packed the...
Did you make a checklist?
No, I didn't make a checklist. I know I packed it.
Useful.
Yeah, I know you do, honey, but I know it's here somewhere.
I'm just saying if you... Oh, these are cute.
That's a surprise.
I thought we agreed we were going to be low-key about this weekend and that we were going to give ourselves time to relax and talk about, you know.
I am being low-key.
You think it's acceptable to wear your cotton period-stained underwear inside out when you need to do laundry. These are not low-key for you.
I just want this to be special. I feel like I haven't seen you in a month, and I really want you to like this house.
I do. I love it already. I love you and
I want to make this place ours.
Blake thumbs Juniper's engagement ring.
does that mean you've made a decision?
Juniper kisses Blake.
Well,
You think you can kiss your way out of every conversation you don't want to have?
I just want to kiss you.
Juniper kisses Blake.
I'm so proud of you.
So marry me.
You're so smart and good,
Impatient.
and watching you tear conservative lobbyists to bits makes me want to.
Blake kisses Juniper.
What can I do to persuade you?
You wouldn't want me if I wasn't a challenge.
Well, I never pick a case I can't win.
You're so sure of yourself.
Oh, I've got all weekend to persuade you.
Blake goes to kiss Juniper.
I thought we decided we wouldn't surprise each other.
We said whoever wanted to could propose once this case was over.
Yeah, I didn't think that meant minutes after in front of reporters.
I got excited.
That's not like you.
Yeah, well, you did something to me.
Are you sure you didn't plan it?
You seemed excited too at the time.
I'm allowed to change my mind.
Yes, you're right. Obviously, yes. Of course, you can change your mind as often as you want. But why do we have to keep putting it off? I've been working on this case for almost 2 years. You know we're going to get married eventually. We literally moved in together once, and that wasn't enough. So we're moving in together a second time, and we're not even engaged.
Doesn't that just make us better lesbians? Have you seen my sage sponge?
Juniper.
I do. No, I know. I must have left it in the car. I mean, you're supposed to burn it in every corner of the room. And I feel like this house has a very present energy, don't you think?
Feels like a house to me.
I'll be right back.
Here.
She tosses Juniper her keys.
You know you don't have to lock the doors out here.
Habit.
Where's the house key?
It's on there.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
I'm holding the keys and I'm telling you it's not on here.
Juniper, it has to be on there.
It's not on here. So where is it?
It's here somewhere.
What? Yeah, that's the only key.
Why didn't you make a copy of the key?
Why are you micromanaging me?
Well, I'm not going to lock you out of the house. So why don't you go get your sage and I'll check the bedroom.
Juniper starts searching through the luggage somewhat frantically.
June, calm down. I'm sure it's here
Don't tell me to calm down. I've been working on this house for months and now you lost the key?
Hey, I can tell you're upset.
I'm not upset. It's the only fucking key.
Juniper, I can tell you're upset, so let's take a breath.
I'm not.
Juniper. The key has to be here because we had to have it to unlock the door.
Well, where is it?
Okay. Why don't you go to the car and find your sage stick or, whatever it's called, if that will make you feel better, and take a walk to clear your head. I know this week has been stressful for you, but I'm going to take care of it. Okay, Junebug?
Blake leads Juniper to the door. Juniper goes outside. Blake goes back into the living room to look for the key. Maeve is standing there.
What the fuck?
Blake freaks and grabs the fire poker.
This is a lovely home.
How the fuck did you get in here?
Crossed over the threshold. The door. Why do you have a real fire poker if you don't have a real fireplace?
A pellet stove.
Exactly.
Who the fuck are you?
I'm Maeve.
Maeve stands and hobbles over to Blake. It is clear that Maeve is pretty injured and about a foot shorter than Blake. Blake lowers the fire poker.
I don't bite. Much.
Blake takes Maeve's hand. Maeve shakes a little too long. Just when she's about to let go, Blake grabs a little tighter, surprising Maeve.
Oh, you're strong.
What are you doing in my house?
Fell off a cliff. I can barely walk. I saw the house from above. You don't have a phone, do you?
There's no service down here. You'll have to drive out of the valley.
Holler, yeah. You're not from around here, are you?
What's in your bag?
Nothing?
Blake picks up Maeve's backpack.
It's heavy.
Please, my entire life's in there. It's nothing. It's mateless socks and weapon pieces from Clue and like a shirt that used to smell like hers. Please don't touch what's mine.
Blake puts down the backpack.
You're not a through hiker.
I'm in between places,
You're a little old to be running away from home.
trying to find my way back.
Are you homeless?
Maeve shifts like she's about to faint. Blake catches her.
Oh, you're freezing.
I think I broke my ankle.
Blake helps Maeve to the couch.
I'll get you a blanket. You seem feverish.
Need a doctor?
No.
Really? You seem very capable.
I'm Blake.
What if I'm stuck here forever?
That seems a little extreme. I'm going to look at your ankle. May I?
Blake unlaces Maeve's boot, pulls it off, and then pulls off the sock from Maeve's ankle. She kneads.
Does this hurt?
Yes, but in a good way. You're very good.
And engaged.
Lucky gal.
Lucky guess.
Educated guess. Massachusetts?
Excuse me?
Are you gonna get married in Massachusetts?
No, we'll be married in DC.
Huh.
Blake massages up Maeve's leg to see where the pain stops.
Now, I'm told I have great legs. I used to be a figure model at the community college. That's where you get naked and people paint you, and then a couple weeks later you get a check in the mail unless you refuse to shave your cooch, in which case you get in a public fight with the dean and get fired. Oh, you got strong hands, but they're soft. It's surprising. My hands are not soft. See? You're actually not interested in me, are you? That is also surprising. I think it's 'cause you're in love. Is your partner beautiful? Are her hands soft or rough? When she wakes in the morning, does she make tea or coffee? Doesn't she need caffeine? Good for her. I like to hold something warm first thing in the morning. Is your partner home? Is she coming home? Ow! Is my ankle broken?
I don't know. I'm more concerned about your temperature, and you could be concussed. Let me see your eyes. Do you remember how you got here?
No.
When Juniper gets back, I'll drive you to the hospital.
You're very generous.
Well, no offense, but you seem like a wreck. Keep your foot elevated. I'll get you some ice.
Blake goes into the kitchen.
Is this your Juniper? In the picture? The one where her hair is like
Yeah, from our vacation in the Greek Isles.
the Greek Isles. She's beautiful. In a way that sneaks up on you.
I disagree.
What?
Blake returns with a bag of ice.
I think it punches you in the gut the moment you look at her. Here, hold this against your ankle.
Blake notices that Maeve is staring open-mouthed at a painting we can't see hanging above the hearth.
It's incredible, isn't it? I don't know how she makes the colors look like they're breathing, or I don't know how you describe it. It's something the way the, what's it called? The
Vanishing point.
Yeah, the vanishing point just sucks you in.
Yeah. Juniper did this.
Yes, she told me she did this last week while the contractors were finishing here. She did this in a week.
She must be brilliant.
She is amazing. She opened this exhibition a couple of months ago. She did the series on opacity and transparency, where she painted fog coming through a valley, but abstracted over these figures of a woman in various states of agony and bliss. It gave me the chills. Just absolutely, I'm not even sure I can do a paint by number, but June, what?
I said, you seem really enamored by her.
I get carried away, but she's brilliant.
Blake adjusts a picture of her and Juniper. She picks up the fire poker and returns it to its place. Maeve watches Blake.
So what are you?
What?
Clearly you're not an artist, so what are you? Like a banker or hedge fund manager?
I work in environmental justice.
Like a protester?
A lawyer.
Fancy. I'm a local. Is there much call for environmental law in this neck of the woods?
There's a lot of cause, actually, and a great place to do some extreme fishing.
Extreme fishing.
Like fishing out of a raft, going down rapids.
Flying into remote ponds.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's more of a tourist thing. Us locals are more hook, line, and sinker folk. Now I wonder if you've ever been to my favorite fishing hole.
Actually, this is my first time in this particular part. Yeah.
You bought a house here and you've never been here before?
I've been to the Shenandoah Valley before, just not this particular. Juniper this was Juniper's project.
Was it?
Yeah, but I'm excited to get to know the place. Is your fishing hole close?
Very. I'm interrupting something, aren't I?
What?
Your clothes are awful nice.
Well, I came straight from work.
But your belt's undone and you missed a button on your shirt.
Yeah, guilty.
What's the occasion?
Just an evening together.
Out in the woods. No one around? Sounds romantic.
Yeah.
Too bad you don't have a skylight. Stars are mighty pretty out here.
I'll bet.
You come all the way out here from the city just for an evening together?
Blake gestures to her engagement ring in a way that is both super dorky and effortlessly cool.
You're Juniper Sumerian type?
Well, yeah.
Obviously. Did you get engaged in Lesbos or wherever you said you were?
Lesbos isn't exactly, it's kind of going through its own refugee crisis.
Beguiles.
Right. No, we just got engaged last week.
So it's that kind of occasion.
Yes.
Blake imagines fucking Juniper. Maeve imagines Blake fucking Juniper.
Who proposed to whom? What was the reaction like?
I'm going to get you a towel.
I'm fine.
I really don't want mud everywhere.
Blake leaves the room.
How'd you meet? Do you know right in that moment? Or did you hate each other at first? Do you hate each other now? Well, a party. She was intoxicated and irresistible, wasn't she? Her neckline just a little too low for the occasion and smelling inextricably of pine.
We met online, like a Match.com for lesbians.
Oh, really? That's unromantic.
Sorry, I have no idea where she put the towels.
In the closet, hiding the furnace. That's where I'd put them.
Why would she put towels in the
To
furnace?
keep them warm. Just a guess.
Blake returns with a towel.
I guess there's not a linen closet.
Guess not.
Here, I would really like this place to be spotless when she comes back.
Maeve takes the towel. Blake begins wiping up the mud Maeve has tracked in. Maeve uses the towel to prop up her head.
So when did Juniper convince you to move back to the holler with her?
What?
Weren't you saying that Juniper was a local?
Was I?
Maybe I made some assumptions.
I can take that towel if you're finished with it. Juniper will be back any minute, and then I'll take you into town.
Blake takes the towels into the bedroom. The sound of the door opening. The smell of burning sage precedes Juniper.
Babe, I couldn't find the key. Did you?
Jen,
You're back.
Hi. Yes. Hi. Blake. Hi. I'm Juniper.
This is Maeve, and this is Juniper. She fell off a cliff.
Blake tells me I'm lucky to be alive.
Huh. Which cliff?
Lover's Leap.
It's quite a fall.
Here I am.
Here you are.
She says her ankle is hurting her, and she seems feverish. So now that you're back, I'll drive her to the hospital.
Oh, the hospital won't open until tomorrow morning.
But it's a hospital.
We do things different in the holler.
The hospital's not actually in the holler. It's on the other side of the river, closer to town, obviously.
Okay, so I'll drive her to that motel we passed off Route 30 and take her to the hospital in the morning. Or she can stay here, up to you.
I mean, you don't want to drive all the way back to Route 30 and back, do you?
It's whatever you want, Juniper.
Well, Maeve, you must be hungry.
I'm starving.
We ate earlier.
Well, we bought all these groceries. I mean, there must be something.
Nothing's prepared.
Oh, there's cake.
That's okay. Sure. So we'll see how we feel after dessert. Make yourself at home, Maeve.
I have.
Blake goes to the kitchen. A long silence as Juniper and Maeve stare at each other.
Changed. At least a little. Maybe a lot. Come closer, I can't tell.
Juniper takes a step closer to Maeve.
Your hair is graying.
Maeve reaches to touch Juniper's hair. Juniper takes a step back.
What are you doing here?
I saw the house.
How long have you been here? Does Blake know?
Maeve takes Juniper's hand and looks at the ring.
I haven't said yes yet.
Clearly you haven't said no either.
Juniper takes her hand back.
Blake seems very generous.
She is.
Blake walks into the room with slices of what is clearly a nice and special cake that you don't share with the stranger who shows up at your door covered in mud.
You don't have any dietary restrictions, do you?
I'll eat anything that doesn't eat me first.
Well, we're borderline vegan, so that shouldn't be a problem.
What are the eating habits of a borderline vegan?
It means that Juniper won't give up cheese.
And Blake likes cream in her coffee.
Fascinating. How long have you been...
It's rude to ask.
It only took a month or so to convince Juniper the error of her ways.
Many years.
Many.
We're working on eliminating all animal products from our diet.
Everything in moderation, including moderation.
You do realize that eating a quarter-pound beef burger is equal to destroying 55 square acres of rainforest?
Pretty sure that's a myth. That's a myth, Blake, isn't it? Come on, bacon and coffee in the morning? Don't you? You miss it, don't you? You do. I can see it in the way your eyes stay the same when you eat this gluten-free cake.
I'm pretty sure there's gluten in this cake.
Tastes like it's missing something.
Refined sugar. Can I get you something to drink?
I'll have what you're having.
I'll see what we have.
Blake goes into the kitchen.
There should be something in the bag next to the...
Oh, found it. I guess if we're having the cake, we might as well have the...
I'm surprised you drink. I associate drinking with people who need to.
Blake reemerges with a bottle.
I said most people around these parts drink because they need to.
It's been a long week.
Did the dry cleaners misplace your pantsuit? Wow, champagne. What are we celebrating?
You tell her.
Blake proposed.
And what did you say?
Right after she won a case against the state. Sometimes she's too much of a good thing.
The state of what? State of affairs? State of being?
State of Virginia.
Honey, I doubt Maeve wants to hear about this.
We don't.
Well, I do.
Didn't know you could sue a state.
Thousands of folks around these parts are in danger of having their drinking water chemically poisoned by fracking.
Sounds like you have a pretty high opinion of the people who live around here.
She was teasing you, Maeve, because you were going out of your way to sound extra
How do I sound, Blake?
local.
I'm sorry if that felt condescending, Maeve. I should have clarified. Thousands of people in the Shenandoah Valley face the very real threat of groundwater contamination as a result of the hydraulic fracking operations currently being conducted. The natural chemicals released by fracking are poisonous to humans. Humans I do care very much about, which is why I'm fighting to regulate fracking and eliminate groundwater contamination.
Wow. Juniper, do you get to experience this conversational prowess every dinner? Please, Blake, do tell me more about fracking.
Well, fracking is an alternative mining practice used to release resources under otherwise unmanageable pressure at otherwise impenetrable depths by applying various well stimulation techniques so that the pressure of fluids within the crevice overcomes the effect of stress being applied. Does this make sense to you?
No, I don't think I get it yet. Please, keep going.
Maybe it would help if I used an example. Okay, got it. Maeve, you know what a dike is, right?
Yes, clearly I know what a dike is.
So we tend to think of fracking as a man-made technique, but you can see it demonstrated in many natural examples, such as dikes. Say I'm a conscientious miner and I want to evaluate the stability of a landscape before I interact with it. I can actually infer past states of stress by closely observing the dike's reactions to, sorry, I shouldn't assume you understand how dikes work.
I understand how.
Let's suppose, Maeve, that you want to frack like a real dike, which is to say, naturally. At the very least, you need to understand the relationship between well performances and treatment pressures, as well as the importance of how you position yourself for fracking. Put simply, horizontal positioning gives you more contact with the target formation, and thus tight sedimentary beds become wetter more quickly. So, when I'm about to frack, you've got the visual in your head. At this point, there's the opening and I'm there above it, about to permeate the, great, hold on to that image. At this point, I need to consider the fracture gradient. That's the pressure increase per unit of depth relative to density. That way, when the rock splits open, I'm prepared to increase the amount of friction I'm applying in order to extend the opening farther and farther until the hole is gushing. Is this making sense? Basically, the deeper you are, the higher the pressure needed to complete the fracking, and then you...
Maybe you should tell me why you shouldn't be fracking local land.
No. Keep going.
Oh, I haven't even explained tensile stress. This is my favorite part. Maeve, it is so important not to ignore tensile stress. That stress is held at the fracture's tip, like a little bundle of stress at a point right above the opening. June, may I?
Blake demonstrates the following on Juniper's hands.
If I'm fracking, I'll apply pressure right here, just above the opening to relieve this tensile stress, and subsequently cause weakness in the joints and bedding planes adjacent to the fracture.
Well, what do you do if it's not finished?
Then I get a little more creative. Off the top of my head, I can think of 2 other completion techniques I could try: plug and perf, short for perform, Maeve, and sliding sleeve, which is pretty self-explanatory. Plug and perf involves more pumping into an isolated region, and then there are a variety of activation techniques I can use to open the sliding sleeve. It's really about paying attention to what the opening wants. Most bores dry up after just a year or 2, but if I apply some of the aforementioned techniques, I can extend the peak wetness of a well to several decades.
Blake kisses Juniper's hand.
Thanks for letting me demonstrate on you.
They gaze at each other for a moment, then remember that Maeve is still in the room.
The dangers of fracking are pretty obvious, so I won't belittle you by going into all that. When I use the phrase round these parts, I meant to gently tease your earlier use of the regionalism. Sorry if I offended you, I'm not good at jokes.
Blake uncorks the bottle. She's a pro.
But she is good at ensuring thousands of people have access to clean drinking water.
Blake and Juniper kiss. Maeve begrudgingly pours herself a glass.
I know a joke. What do you call a woman who builds her dream house with another woman's bank account, but then waffles when the same woman proposes to her? Someone who wants to have her cake and eat it out too.
I don't get the joke.
Well, I added a preposition.
No, I don't get why you think it's funny to
I
suggest.
forgot about the peaches. There were these beautiful peaches at this farm stand as we got off the interstate. Do you think they'll pair well?
I think they'll be delicious.
Honey, can you go get them?
Blake exits.
I'm making a lot of assumptions about my relationship with her.
Did Blake use you to explain fracking to the state of Virginia, or were you just there to kiss her for the cameras after she won?
Excuse me?
You think you'll enjoy playing eccentric trophy wife for Blake, even when she's not winning cases?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Pick out the wine. Did Blake? Or is that more of a wifely duty?
No, I haven't even said yes yet, you fucking...
Oh dear. I hope this pairs well with the peaches.
Blake returns with a bowl.
Peaches.
They might be overripe, but they smelled so good. How could I resist?
Maeve takes a peach. Clearly, she is supposed to cut it and eat it with a fork. She bites into it. Juice runs down her mouth and fingers. It is shocking. Blake and Juniper are shocked. Maeve continues eating the peach. It is almost obscene.
So, who's taking whose name?
We haven't.
Keeping our own names.
I see.
It's been a busy week.
More like a busy month.
I can imagine. What with saving the good folk of Virginia from their own ignorant mining practices and then completing $1 million renovation to a house on what their otherwise impoverished land that you just saved. And an unanswered marriage proposal. What a week. Thank goodness you can afford therapy.
Actually, Aside from the major stuff like repairing the roof, June fixed up this whole place by herself.
Did she?
It was a wreck when we found it, but Juniper was obsessed.
I bet she was.
It was nothing.
Well, I'm sure you spent a lot of time in this fixer-upper, Junebug, because it looks, well, just at a loss. The color especially pairs so well with the sofa. Oh, do you play? The guitar?
I used to, a long time ago. I want June to learn.
Huh. You think she'll do that for you?
Maeve hobbles up and hobbles over to the guitar. She licks her fingers clean. She picks up the guitar.
We lived alone, my house and I. We had the earth, we had the sky. I had a lamb against the dark, and I was happy as a lark. We lived alone, my house and I. We had the earth, we had the sky. I had a lamb against the dark, and I was happy as a lark. I had a stove and a window screen. I had a table painted green, sat on a chair with a broken back, wearing a pretty potato sack. I had a rock upon my floor, and roses grew around my door. I had a job, my wants were few, they were in tune. I wanted you, and when I set my eyes on you, nothing else would do, nothing else would do.
Did you write that?
No. This mysterious woman wrote it 50 years ago and then disappeared from her life. Vanished.
That sounds like she probably just...
I love a good high lonesome.
I think it romanticizes poverty.
It's about being content with simplicity.
And a job. What do you do when you're not walking off of bluffs?
What's a high lonesome?
And when I set my eyes on you, nothing else would do, nothing else would do. That's a high lonesome.
Well, this has been something else, but I think it's time to clean up.
Blake starts gathering the plates.
Babe, can you grab the glasses?
Juniper stands and gathers the glasses.
Can you put on an apron and make me a sandwich while you're at it, babe?
That's not what she said.
That's how she said it.
How did I say it?
There was a certain tone in your voice.
I'm sorry if you think there was a tone, Maeve. If there was a tone in my voice, it was because I have my hands full and would like to talk to my fiance privately in the kitchen.
Oh, don't talk about me like that.
I thought we agreed we didn't like partner.
My fiance? Mine? When I'm standing right here next to you.
Oh my God, I'm sorry, Juniper.
And anything you want to say, you can say in front of Maeve.
That's not true, and I think you know that.
It's true when you use that tone you use when you're talking to me like you expect me to behave a certain way, but you don't trust me to behave that way.
My hands are full. Your hands are empty. What do you want from me?
Forget it. You wouldn't be acting like this if you were peacocking for Maeve.
Juniper attempts to walk past Blake into the kitchen. Before she can get there, Maeve trips Juniper, causing Juniper to spill Maeve's untouched glass of champagne all over Blake.
Oh my God, babe, I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
Well, now it's a party.
Honey, I'll clean up. No, I thought that cake was really good.
She kisses Blake's cheek on the way to the kitchen. Blake goes into the bedroom, slamming the door behind her. Maeve picks up the guitar. We can hear Juniper doing dishes in the kitchen. Maeve picks some more, stands, walks into the kitchen, humming and then singing. The living room is empty and, for a moment, silent. We see the empty living room for a moment before Maeve and Juniper return. Juniper is holding Maeve away, pressing a dishwashing brush at Maeve's chest.
Don't touch me.
Maeve slides the guitar around to her back. She unzips her pants. She waits. She takes Juniper's hand. Juniper pulls her hand away. So Maeve slides her own hand down her pants. Juniper is trying very hard not to move. Maeve stares at Juniper. Juniper can't look away. Somewhere in the room, a picture of Blake and Juniper falls. The glass shatters. Maeve zips up her pants. Maeve wipes her fingers on her pants.
Go wash your fucking hands.
By the time Blake emerges from the bedroom in clean clothes, Maeve is in the kitchen washing her hands, and Juniper is picking up the shattered glass of the fallen picture.
Careful. The glass, it fell.
Juniper, get a broom. You'll cut your finger. Where's your ring?
Maeve emerges from the kitchen, limping, playing the guitar, and singing.
Oh, I must have taken it off to do the dishes.
Well, why don't you go get it?
You know, Blake, maybe she doesn't want to marry you.
I think it's time for you to leave.
What happened to giving Juniper whatever she wanted?
I think it's pretty obvious that giving Juniper whatever she wants doesn't include letting her emotionally abusive ex-girlfriend sleep in this house tonight.
What?
Drop it. I'm not fucking stupid.
Your emotionally abusive ex-girlfriend? Is that how you describe me to your fiance, partner, patron, whatever you fancy dykes like to call each other?
It's not that simple.
Actually, it is. And you have overstayed your welcome, Maeve. So it's time for you to leave.
No,
Excuse me?
you can't make me leave this house.
Maeve.
That is not something you have the authority to do.
Maeve.
Actually, I have a lot of authority to tell
I
you.
leave when Juniper tells me to leave.
Juniper wants you to leave.
You don't get to put words in her mouth.
Neither do you.
So then tell me to leave.
Do you want her to stay?
No, of course I don't want to. What? Why are you both staring at me like that?
What do you want, Juniper?
Just tell us what you want, and I'll stand by and watch Blake make all your dreams come true.
Blake picks up Maeve's bag and throws it to the doorway.
Why aren't you defending me?
Maeve.
Juniper gestures towards the door. Maeve limps across the room. She's pathetic.
Jesus Christ. This is my fucking competition.
I don't have any money for a motel, so I'll be finding a cozy bit of moss. Hopefully I don't encounter whatever got stuck up your ass.
Maeve hobbles out of the living room into the kitchen. We hear her struggle to open the kitchen door.
It's stuck.
What?
The door. It won't open.
Blake goes into the kitchen to help Maeve. We hear her struggle against the door.
Sometimes the door sticks. I mean, I got locked in this house about 3 times while I was repairing, and I think it's something with how the pressure changes when the dust comes.
Blake and Maeve return to the living room.
What do you mean the pressure changes when dust comes?
I don't know, you're the scientist.
That's not science, Juniper.
Oh, maybe it has something to do with tensile stress.
You know what, Maeve? You look like you'd fit through a window.
The windows don't open.
What?
I had the windows sealed because one time you told me it's more environmentally conscious to have your windows sealed. So I sealed them and now they don't open. But the windows can't open. The door's the only way out.
I said that old houses with old windows should get their windows sealed in the winter.
I guess I misunderstood.
Oh boy, really hope there's not a fire.
We're leaving at 8:30 tomorrow for the hospital.
Kind of early, isn't it?
7:30.
Blake goes into the bedroom.
Sure hope the pressure changes by then. Well, you gonna help me?
You know how it works.
Juniper enters the bedroom and closes the door. Maeve looks at the sofa. She looks at the door. She goes to her bag and finds an oversized t-shirt to sleep in. She returns to the sofa. She attempts to pull out the mattress. The hinges are old and it really requires 2 people to get just the right angle to pull out the mattress. But Maeve gives it an old valiant effort, knocking over something in the process. Juniper emerges from the bedroom, wearing some kind of nightwear that suggests this weekend was supposed to go differently. Again, not obscene, just special. She watches Maeve struggle for a moment, then goes to help her. They make the bed in silence. It is a ritual they know very well. By the end of it, they are still, startled momentarily by their muscle memory. Juniper goes towards the bedroom. Maeve sits on the mattress.
Kept the sheets?
I didn't. Did I? I guess I never changed them after you left.
Maeve smells the sheets.
Wow.
You're disgusting.
No, you gotta smell this. It smells just like.
Juniper complies.
Oh my God.
I'm surprised you didn't wash them. You're so particular.
I wasn't myself when I left.
Juniper moves from the sofa. She writes the thing that Maeve knocked over.
The house is very clean now.
I like it that way.
And sparse. Why is there nothing in your drawers or cabinets?
What were you doing looking through our
It's like
drawers?
no one lives here.
It's a weekend home.
And what are the drawers and cabinets of your weekday home like? Do you have an odds and ends drawer? Are there unflattened photos? Takeout receipts, stale rubber bands, eraser crumbs, an old chapstick, key rings?
Blake doesn't like clutter.
We used to have so many pointless, beautiful things.
Never the things we needed.
We may do.
Maybe we used a sports bra for a pot holder.
Juniper is moving around the living room, adjusting things, assessing the place.
This painting is really good.
Thank you. I'm pretty proud of how this one turned out.
You should have heard the way Blake was bragging about you. She's really
I
sweet.
trust you as far as I can throw you.
How far can you throw me?
Apparently not far enough.
The contrast, not exactly right, if you want my opinion.
I didn't.
You should have kept the skylight.
We didn't have a skylight. We had a hole in the roof.
And this furniture is so,
Mid-century.
it makes me want to kill myself.
Blake likes it.
Do you like it?
Well, yeah. Are you sure? No. No, it's uncomfortable and you cold and you have to be way too careful on it. But you know what, Maeve? Sometimes we make compromises for the people we love.
People we love.
Yes.
You love Blake?
Why do you find that so hard to believe?
Because she's rich and boring.
You know, she's actually only one of those things, and you never worried about money before, so you don't get to pretend to now just so you can use it against me.
I'm sorry.
Really?
Yeah. Yes. About this? I mean, I don't know what you expect me to be sorry for, but I'm sorry I called your fiance boring, even if she is.
You know exactly what I want you to apologize for.
Jen. Oh, Juniper. Juniper, Jen, Juniper.
You ran away from home. No, my home ran away from me.
I tried to come back. I couldn't find the house. I couldn't find my way home.
No, I'm not going to listen to this.
How much did you have to change to be with Blake?
You're not allowed to talk about her anymore.
How did you get like this?
I am happy.
No, I mean, how did you end up with some fancy lawyer who wants to marry you just so that she has a little loyal arm piece by the time she announces her run for state senate or the Supreme Court or whatever? Huh? You're not fancy, Junebug. You got all these dreams, and that's what's great about you. But you're not fancy. Your mom didn't even graduate high school, and sometimes you forget to pronounce the G on words, like crying and laughing and fucking.
No, why don't you just shut up about shit you don't know? And you never even met my mother.
I know she weren't no scholar.
She got her GED 2 years after she had me. Jesus, I'm not complete trash.
Oh, well, I'll be.
People change. No? People are allowed to change.
Yeah, but usually people change over time. By accident, by fate. You changed yourself. And it's distasteful.
Go fuck yourself.
I do. Every day. And every time I think about you panting, Maeve, Maeve, Maeve.
Juniper slaps Maeve. Maeve grabs Juniper's wrist and twists it behind her back.
Try to kiss me and I swear to God I'll bite your fucking tongue out.
That sounds hot.
I hate you.
Say it again.
I hate you.
Again.
I hate
You cry now?
Hold me.
She does.
This is my shirt.
It's my shirt. You just wore it more.
Juniper buries her face in Maeve's shirt.
Why did you leave me?
You told me to.
Maeve holds Juniper. Juniper takes Maeve's hand and holds it to her face. The house cries with Juniper, trembling. Time passes. Outside, the wind whistles through the holler.
Jen, listen to the wind.
But Juniper is asleep. Maeve does not sleep. The light bulb in the lamp illuminating the living room blows. Darkness stretches across Juniper and Maeve's face, save for a pale beam of moonlight. Juniper shifts in her sleep. intertwining her body around Maeve's. Maeve is as still as a statue, a fixture of the house. We are like this for some time, until first light aches pulls the room to morning.
The first light through those pines is still so.
Juniper stirs sleepily, sees she is entangled with Maeve, and she jolts awake.
Fuck.
Good morning.
Fuck, how did I fall asleep here?
Juniper begins to get up.
I'll go.
No, you need to leave.
You and I both know that isn't so.
No, you need to leave now. You need to be gone by the time she wakes up.
Blake's gonna drive me to the hospital.
No, I cannot deal with you and her in the same house again at the same time. You get your stuff together and I'll drive you into town if you really can't walk.
Why am I here?
I don't... God, this weekend was supposed to be everything's gonna fall in.
Why am I here now?
I don't know. I don't know. Stop asking me.
Still be here if you really wanted me gone.
Maeve, I don't love you anymore. I can't. I lost that part of who I was.
Then let me help you find who you were.
No. You do not get to talk to me like you have any say over who I am. I'm going to marry Blake and I'm going to be happy.
I never thought you were the type to settle.
This is me doing what's best for me. But this is not about you. This is not about who I used to be or who you thought I was going to be. I was terrified of falling in love with Blake, okay? I didn't want to give myself to another person. I didn't have anything left to give. Blake. That first morning I woke up next to Blake. She asked me if I could do anything without anything stopping me. What would I do? I told her I would paint something truthful. She said she wanted to get rid of the things that were stopping me. Let me have this. Let me be happy with Blake, okay? I paint almost every day now, Maeve. I am closer to being who I wanted to be with her than I was with you.
Then why am I here, Jen?
Because you trespassed. Okay, don't try and make this something cosmic. I lost everything when you ran away from me. I lost this house. I lost the parts of me that I put into you and this house. There was nothing left of me. Do you know how it feels to lose a home?
Yes.
No, you don't. You know, after you left, I sat in this house I must have watched an entire season pass without moving from this place. I was barely going to work and just letting the money run out and the lights turn off, waiting for you to come back. And then one day there was a knock at the door, a man with a badge and a gun who asked me if I was you. I told him I was your girlfriend. He laughed, told me I had to vacate immediately or face imprisonment because I was squatting on state property. I thought you were dead.
I'm here.
Maeve undoes the knot on Juniper's robe. It falls open. Maeve takes inventory of the changes to Juniper's body. The house trembles like a heart.
You're older now. The scar is new. Do you want to see how I've stayed the same for you?
Maeve lifts her shirt. Juniper stares, then slowly searches her hand up Maeve's torso. She holds her hand against Maeve's heart. There's no heartbeat. An eerie stillness in the house.
I don't want you in this house anymore.
Maeve leans in closer to Juniper. She hovers over her mouth.
I will leave as soon as you want me to leave.
Their mouths are open. Juniper breathes for the both of them. Something in the house shatters. Blake opens the bedroom door. Juniper pulls her hand away.
Morning, Blake. Reckon the pressure's changed enough to open that door of Juniper's?
Blake, I'm so sorry. I fell asleep. Nothing happened.
Get out of my house, Maeve.
Your house.
Maeve, please.
Gotta tell you, Blake, these walls is mighty familiar to me. Come to think of it, I seem to recall fucking Jen on the threshold of this here house with the hinges squeaking open and shut on account we couldn't wait long enough to get into the door for it to shut. You know, that's probably why it sticks.
Blake swings to punch Maeve in the face, but Maeve dodges. Maeve chuckles darkly. Juniper grabs Blake, but Blake lunges at Maeve. They fight. Blake clearly outmatches Maeve, but Maeve is scrappy, clawing, biting, spitting, until Blake grabs the fire poker and clubs it against Maeve's skull hard, knocking Maeve to the ground. Juniper screams. Blake immediately drops the fire poker and recoils.
Oh my God, are you okay?
But Maeve stands completely unfazed. Blake is dumbstruck. Maeve picks up the fire poker, backs Blake into a wall. Juniper unfreezes and goes towards Maeve. Juniper throws her body between Maeve and Blake, grabbing the fire poker and kissing Maeve on the mouth. They drop the fire poker. The house expels Blake from itself. What began as a diversion becomes real. Juniper and Maeve staggering toward the couch. Their hands tear at each other's clothes, stripping back 10 years. Maeve goes down on Juniper. As Maeve and Juniper fuck, the house undoes itself. Juniper and Maeve are tussling in and out of each other, and in the disorientation of limbs and ecstasy, Juniper becomes Jen. Jen fucks Maeve. Home. Jen and Maeve's life together in this house falls from the heavens.
Jen. You're home.
Vignettes of Act 2 are the memories that Juniper conjures of her life with Maeve 10 years ago. It is mid-morning in Jen and Maeve's living room. Jen spackles some small and large nicks in the living room walls. In the kitchen, Maeve sings loudly.
We lived alone, our house and I. We had the earth, we had the sky.
We can smell that she is cooking bacon and brewing a pot of coffee. She emerges and sings to Jen.
We lived alone, our house and I. We had the earth, we had the sky.
They dance clumsily, splashing coffee and smearing spackle. They kiss.
The bacon!
I like it crispy.
She kisses Jen. They kiss a little longer. They lose track of time. The smoke detector goes off.
Smoke detector works.
Maeve runs to the kitchen.
Oh, wow. Listen to the locusts. Mom always said that's how you know you're at the end of a summer, because it's hot as shit and you can't hear yourself piss over the damn locusts.
I think those are cicadas.
Cicadas only come around every 13 or 17 years.
Maeve returns with a strip of bacon, offers it to Jen.
Locusts are a plague. Cicadas are good luck. Might be our lucky year.
Perfect.
Jen returns to spackling. Maeve cracks open a beer.
What? It's bread in liquid form.
It's rude not to share.
Jen drinks after Maeve. Maeve opens the can of paint and looks for a stirring stick.
I'm not finished spackling.
I'll work around you.
She settles on a spoon sitting in an old teacup.
It'll look blotchy.
There's not enough color in this room.
I know, but I really want to do it right.
Maeve brushes a streak of paint onto the wall. It is a ridiculous color.
It looked different in the hardware store.
No, that's the color you picked out.
Did I?
Yep.
I think it brings out the wildfire burning behind your eyes.
You're full of shit.
We should have chosen gold paint. Or we could have like a sunset room, like in that book about the hideout in the woods. How they paint that one room that catches the late day sun. They paint it golden so that every day when the sun sets in the room, it radiates with golden light. What's it called?
The one where the girl dies because the rope breaks and the water's high?
She wouldn't have died if they hadn't left Terabithia in the first place. This is our Terabithia.
Then we can never leave. Imagine how this room will be in the summer, warm with the windows always open, the smell of pine trees and campfires. We can host a different thru hiker on our porch each night. We'll catch fish and rub lemons into lemonade. And that looks like a blackberry bush on the front steps. We'll make pie.
We'll make love under the stars. We'll light candles and empty beer bottles, and we'll make our own stars.
You make everything seem possible.
Jen, everything is possible.
How?
Well, we'll bank on every wish and every eyelash, every shooting star. We'll lift our legs, crossing railroad tracks, and seek out dandelions to blow a wish on. You'll never tell me, and I'll never tell you, but we'll both wish until one warm day in June, you'll peer over your fresh squeezed lemonade and say, pardon me, Mr. or Mrs. Thru-Hiker, it's been swell, but I really want to fuck my lover right now on this here porch, so you can watch or skedaddle, or heck, you can join in, but this here thing I want to happen is gonna happen.
This thing that I want is gonna happen.
Jen sits on the couch. Maeve enters from the storage room with paint supplies and a blindfold.
Is this what you wanted?
Yes. Now, blindfold me.
Maeve ties a blindfold around Jin's head.
Okay. Now what?
Just sit there. Hand me a paintbrush. Well, dip it in whatever color you want first.
Maeve hands Jin the brush.
Show me where the canvas is.
Maeve does.
Now what?
Jin reaches her other hand to Maeve's face and gently traces her thumb across the slope of Maeve's forehead, the hard ridge of her nose, her soft lips. Jin paints Maeve onto the canvas as she feels her. Jin works on some household repair in the living room. Maeve enters from outside.
Jen! Guess what I found at the dollar store?
More spackling putty?
Huh? Oh, right, yeah, I got that too. But look at this.
Maeve reveals a rainbow flag. It's not quite a pride flag. It's more like a flag that has a rainbow with two clouds on either end, and both clouds are smiling.
For the flagpole! I know you wanted to get it removed, but now we don't have to. And I also got this.
Maeve reveals a flag featuring a skull and crossbones.
So that we can alternate the flags depending on how hospitable we're feeling.
Jin is speechless. Maeve grabs Jin's hand and pulls her outside.
Come on.
Wow, Maeve, it's so...
No! And now you'll be able to tell it's our house from miles above.
Maeve sits on the sofa, picking a guitar. She addresses Jin through an open window.
Hey, Jen. Hey, Jen. I want to tell you a funny joke.
I'm cleaning the fish.
This is relevant because it's about fish. And it'll gut you.
Was that the joke?
No. The joke is, what did the fish say when it ran into the cement wall?
Really, Maeve?
Damn!
Can you bring me the knife that's sitting next to the toaster?
Wasn't that funny? You didn't think that was funny?
Maeve, it was so funny I can barely move. Can you please bring me that knife?
Why do you need a knife?
To gut the fish.
Maeve runs outside to Jin. We hear,
Well, we said we were going to release them.
Yeah, if they were too little.
Then we cannot eat those fish. We named them.
You named them.
You said you were cleaning them.
Cleaning means gutting, Maeve.
That is barbaric. You're a barbarian.
I don't see what the ethical dilemma is. You love bacon.
I did not first cultivate a relationship with the pig prior to meeting it in bacon form.
You're being absurd.
Maeve re-enters the living room with a bucket of fish. She goes to the bathroom. We hear her fill up the bathtub and plop the fish into the tub. Maeve is in the bathroom pooping. Jin sits on the sofa, reading through job postings in a newspaper.
Capitalism only works because we tell it to work. If everyone stopped buying things, capitalism would stop. And money, it doesn't even exist. It's just a concept. And why do we try to make money off of fucking everything? Who decided that we could make money off of roses or land? Why must we pay taxes on the earth?
This is what you think about while you're pooping?
I'm not pooping. I am defecating on the capitalist ideology. Why? What do you think about when you're pooping? Upon what do you defecate? The housing crisis? Global warming? The income gap? The fact that people in America go hungry when some pay $100 a person for one fucking meal?
Half a semester of community college makes you a pro on American economics?
Yep. And I ask you, upon what do you defecate?
When I'm pooping, I think about pooping.
Maeve flushes the toilet and walks out.
Wash your hands. We haven't paid property taxes. You were shitting on the fact that we have to pay to live on land, but we haven't paid our property taxes yet, so you can't complain about paying them.
We are expected to pay property taxes.
We will get in trouble if we don't pay.
I will get in trouble. Technically, you are a guest on this land.
Well, until we pay those taxes, we're both guests on this land.
Well, always be guests on this land because A, you can't own Mother Nature, bitch, and B, because our ancestors stole this land from Native Americans via genocide anyway, and C, because I ain't got no money.
Because you don't have a job. If you had a job, you would have money.
I had a job at the university, and I still barely had money.
You barely had a job at a community college, and now instead of barely having money, you have no money.
And lots of scruples.
Oh, don't try and make this about scruples. You didn't get fired because of scruples. You got fired because you don't know how to negotiate the terms of your contract.
Because I didn't have a college education.
Because you dropped out.
Because I ran out of money.
Because you don't have responsible spending habits.
Because I was raised by an out-of-work minor turned alcoholic.
Who drank because his daughter was a dyke.
And his wife was propped up on pain meds. That's the spirit.
Say, here's an idea. Why don't you become a lawyer? You're so good at bullshitting your way through an argument.
But then I wouldn't have my darling Jen. Because you have scruples too, my darling Jen.
Is that so?
I don't have a job. I don't have a car. I don't have a TV. I don't have a bed. But I do have a pull-out sofa and the title to a fixer-upper. And you, Jen. And a guitar, some scruples, and a scar from when you threw that plate of spaghetti at my head last week. I have so much. What more could I possibly want?
A job.
I am looking.
No, I am looking for you.
I will look.
Jen hands her the newspaper.
These are not the jobs I seek. I want to be an astronaut, a cartographer, a poet.
You're already a poet, and it isn't making us any money.
A butcher, a baker, a candlestick maker.
Maeve, cut it out. Have you looked at those estimates?
Is that what this is about? They're just estimates. Maybe we're thinking about this the wrong way. Maybe instead of thinking about what has to be done, we should consider what doesn't have to be done. Reprioritize.
Reprioritize?
Maeve takes the list of repair estimates from Jen.
For example, until we get the kitchen sink working, we can wash the dishes in the bathroom.
Except that we don't have a broken sink. We don't have a sink, period.
Potato, tomato.
Didn't your uncle ever check on this place?
I don't know. He lived in Montana for like the last 10 years of his life. And I mean, he probably assumed this place housed squatters and he didn't want to disturb their peace.
That's weird.
My uncle was a weird dude. Probably gay. I wonder if that's why he left me his place.
Why would squatters take a sink?
If you saw a free sink right now, wouldn't you take it?
Okay, well, a sink would be like $200, but $3,000 to repair the roof.
I don't think it's that bad.
That hole is the size of a small child.
A sunroof, a skylight. I mean, look, you can almost see the moon shining through it now.
What happens when it snows?
Jen, relax. It's September.
It's October.
Oh, shit. We gotta get some Halloween decorations.
Utilities are due in 4 days, and I won't get paid for another 5 days.
I know. And we'll have a payment due after that, and after that, and after that, and it will all be fine.
Yes, because I will figure it out.
Because you will figure it out.
God, I hate you.
I am complimenting your endless resourcefulness.
Maeve, you are lazy.
I am not lazy. I have scruples. I'm not going to participate in a capitalist system that profits.
Lazy.
I'm not.
Prove it. Get a job and stop living off me.
Stop living off you.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure I'm the reason we're living here.
For now, Maeve, this house is 2 repair bills away from being condemned. At this point, we're basically squatting.
I am happy with the life that we're starting. Fuck getting a job. It'll ruin that.
Maeve crumples up the newspaper. She goes to flush it down the toilet.
That will ruin the plumbing!
Good. And you can fix that too and lord it over me. Ooh, I'm Jen. I'm the capable lesbian. Ooh, I'm so good at being an adult. Ooh, look at me. I'm so responsible.
Damn it, Maeve. I didn't ask to be the capable one.
God, you look so hot with a wrench in your hand bent under some pipes.
Jen, take care of your brothers. Jen, take care of your mother. Jen, take care of your lover.
Maeve is basically doing a lap dance on Jen, and Jen is doing her best to ignore Maeve's crotch in her face.
Hey, Jen, you want to check out my plumbing?
No thanks. I already know you're full of shit.
Jen, fix my plumbing. I think I sprang a leak.
Jen grabs Maeve's ass and screams into Maeve's crotch.
Oh, why am I so attracted to you and your leaky plumbing?
Jen unzips Maeve's pants and tries to yank them down, but it doesn't go smoothly. Jen abandons the pants to kiss Maeve's face and finger Maeve's pussy. But the force of the kiss knocks them both back over the couch.
Oh, fuck!
Wait. Don't move. Your cunt's at the perfect angle right now.
You want to paint me? Like this?
No, dumbass. I want to figure out where this leak of yours is coming from.
Leaves fall through the hole in the roof. Golden light tumbles around Jen, who ushers the leaves into a tiny pile with the rake. Maeve watches Jen. Jen catches Maeve watching her. The intensity of Maeve's gaze makes Jen bashful.
You are so beautiful. I wish you could paint yourself right now with the sun and the earth caught between your hair.
Maeve removes a leaf from Jen's hair.
Can you make a wish on a fallen leaf?
What's there to wish for?
Jen and Maeve look at each other. Maeve offers the leaf to Jen. Jen closes her eyes.
I wish there was a pile big enough to jump in.
When she opens her eyes, Maeve has left the room. Jen continues raking. Maeve returns with a large amount of leaves. She tosses them into the air.
Maeve!
She makes snow angels in the leaves. Jen makes a show of burying Maeve's chest in a pile of leaves. Maeve's giddiness settles. The leaves rise and fall with her chest. A stillness.
Jump.
Jen comes home from work dressed for a diner. She tosses her house keys and a bike helmet onto the coffee table. Maeve, who prior to this was asleep on the couch, wakes with a start.
Fuck, you scared me. I love your butt and them restaurant khakis.
You said you were gonna clean.
I dusted the coffee table. Come here.
Maeve, no, get up.
Come here.
Hey, get up.
Hey, okay.
Maeve gets up. They start making a space for the pullout.
Did you bring me home leftovers?
I'm so fucking tired of playing fort just to make our bed.
One day we'll have a real bed.
When?
One day.
When's one day?
I don't know. Soon, I guess, right?
This mattress has been killing my back.
Rub it.
They heave the mattress out of the couch frame. It thuds into place.
Where did you put the sheets?
What do you mean?
The sheets for the bed?
I thought you were picking them up.
Really, Maeve?
Sorry, I guess I misunderstood.
That was the one thing I asked you to do today. I asked you to pick up the sheets and clean the living room.
That's two things. Okay, I'll go get the sheets. They're open till 10.
I want to go to sleep now.
It's only 9:15.
You didn't work a double today. You don't have to be up at 6 tomorrow. What the fuck did you do today if you didn't get the laundry?
I figured out the comma placement in the last line of my poem. Calm down.
You figured that out with your eyes closed?
No, I fixed the comma and then I started to clean the living room, but then I had a panic attack. So I took a nap.
You had a panic attack?
Yes. I literally could not move off the couch all day.
You've been on the couch all day?
Yeah. It's been really bad.
Okay.
Jen sits on the edge of the pullout and kicks off her shoes.
Okay, what?
Nothing. It just seems like you've been having a lot of panic attacks lately.
Yeah, because I'm anxious.
What do you have to be anxious about?
What?
What are you anxious about?
Same things you are.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm anxious about what's going to happen when November ends and we still have a hole in our roof. So I work.
Do you really think working 14 hours a day makes you less anxious?
God, fuck. I can't even tell you to sleep on the couch because we literally sleep on a couch every single night. Fuck. I can literally see my own breath.
For the record, I don't think the sheets were that dirty.
Are you kidding me?
Sorry, I'm not bothered by the way we smell.
We haven't washed them in like 2 months.
If you're so cheap, you sweat over spending like $5 on laundry.
Because I am the only one who sweats over anything in this house.
Okay, so maybe like calm down.
Go get the fucking sheets. Here, I guess you'll need these.
Jen throws a handful of change at Maeve's receding form. Jen is sick and surrounded by tissues. Maeve enters from the kitchen carrying a grocery bag.
Oh, good. You're still alive. Look at what I got you. blue Gatorade and crackers and chicken noodle soup with stars, because you're a star, and a thermometer that works, and sour gummy worms for when you feel better.
Thank you.
Maeve kisses Jen.
Oh, you'll get sick.
Maeve kisses Jen again. Jen starts coughing. Maeve takes off her scarf and wraps it around Jen.
I'll go make you some lemon tea.
Maeve and Jen enter with groceries. Maeve is mid-rant, quite flustered. Clearly, this has been going on for some time. She makes it to the center of the room, bag still in hand throughout the following. While Maeve rants, Jen has time to change the toilet paper, change a light bulb, put away groceries, etc.
And in line at fucking Food Lion. Like, what are you supposed to do? Not purchase your tampons and eggs? It's because they fucking know that they're only going to get the time of day by taking it from you. And like, we literally got tampons, basil, and nail clippers, which we then put into our reusable bag from Banned Books Week at the public library. If that doesn't tell you something about your clientele from the start, then maybe you're dumber than you look, which, by the way, is pretty dumb. Good Lord, I could have ripped that stupid mustache off his smug mouth. I mean, has this ever worked for him before? Propositioning women over produce? God, I could have. If he hadn't called security, oh man, did you see his face? Like he's never had some 5'3" dyke from the holler threaten to strangle him with his own lanyard. Probably feed his pants. Hopefully. God, what a pussy. He did not know what he was messing with till I came back with those jars of buy one, get one pasta sauce, and I saw him looking at you like that and holding his phone out to you like it was his dick he wanted you to touch, and you're all slightly bemused. Because sometimes you forget men exist in this world, and then there they are comparing your tits to whatever ripe fruit you got in your basket. Like, please, I shit better lines than that. Like, damn. Get the fuck away from my woman, because she is nobody's girl. You can't have her. She's busy fucking me in our house with this cucumber you just sold us. Fuck.
By this point, Jen is sitting on the sofa smiling at Maeve.
What?
Come and give your helpless damsel a kiss.
I'm angry.
I know. You're cute when you're flustered, but you come near me with that cucumber and we're over.
Jen rolls a tube of paint between her hands. Maeve clips her toenails. They are bundled up in knit hats, scarves, etc. Rogue snowflakes fall through the poorly repaired hole in the roof. Jen tries to squeeze out some paint, but it is frozen. She throws the paint across the room.
Fuck!
Maeve picks at some dirt between her toes. Jen gets up and paces around the room.
If we give them half the money, do you think they'd turn on half the electricity?
I like it. Feels like camping.
My paint is literally frozen, Maeve. I cannot paint because my paint is frozen, because it is below 32 degrees Fahrenheit in this house.
Maybe you should try oil paint. You know, it probably won't freeze because there's like oil in it.
I can't afford enough electricity to plug in the space heater, which we are using to heat the house, because the heat is broken and I can't afford to fix that. So I definitely can't afford oil paint.
That's probably for the best. I knew a girl in high school who got drunk and fell asleep with one of them space heaters on, and it short-circuited, and it like a spark hit a can of hairspray, and come to find out there was a gas leak, and the explosion like blew out the whole side of her exterior wall. I mean, she got amnesia.
I didn't think they'd actually do.
I know you didn't.
I'll have to turn it back on.
If we pay.
The sound of Maeve clipping her toenails fills the silence. Maeve and Jen play a game of sorry. Maeve is losing. At some point, it becomes clear that Maeve can't win. Maeve flips the board. Maeve does not say sorry. Maeve and Jen eat spaghetti without sauce by candlelight. It's unclear if the candlelight is romantic or if the electric bill is late.
No, I get what you're saying. It's just that, can you pass me the salt? What you're saying isn't possible.
You're not listening. What I'm saying is that we let the machines do all the work and give everybody the same amount of points, and then we don't have to work.
Like your dad.
My dad didn't lose his job because of machines. He lost it because they started blowing up entire sides of mountains.
I don't think that's how it works.
Yeah. Then how does it work?
I don't know. It just not like that.
They take the thing, ram it into the hole, and then boom.
You told me your dad lost his job because he drank.
No, he drank because he lost his job.
So not having a job didn't make him happier.
Because he didn't have any money.
Because he didn't have a job.
Jen, you're not listening to me. I'm saying if the government can afford to build machines to literally blow up mountains, they can afford to pay my dad.
Whom you hated.
I hate. Don't give me that. You did not win this argument, okay, Jen? God damn it. Jen, no one deserves to go hungry.
Maeve, hey, I'm on your side. I am 100% on your side. We don't live in that world.
But we could.
But we don't. And it's killing me. Look at me.
Yeah, you look like shit.
So I need your help. Okay? Okay?
Okay. We got fire insurance.
Maeve.
I'm serious.
I know, and I'm telling you,
Burn it down and start from the ground up.
you say one more word about lighting this house on fire, I swear to God.
You and this fucking house. You know, if it could lick your pussy, I bet you'd marry it.
Jen throws a handful of spaghetti at Maeve.
I just want one nice thing, goddammit. Let me have one nice thing. I work my ass off. I try so fucking hard. I left that shithole.
The day after your brothers turned 18. Yeah, I know. I get it.
Because I wanted something better. I thought I could get out. Then what do but go and fall for the first doc who shows off her tits in drawing 201 at the community college? God, fuck. Different address, same shithole holler. God damn it, Maeve. All I want is a roof over my head that doesn't leak and a girlfriend who helps me hold up that roof.
Maeve picks up the spaghetti and plops it back on Jen's plate.
That's two nice things.
Jen takes her plate and switches it with Maeve's. Maeve takes a bite.
You disgust me.
Waste not, want not.
Jen and Maeve sleep on the pullout. The windows are open. We can hear sounds of a still spring night. Jen bolts up, a huge intake of breath, panting, panic. Maeve sleeps.
Maeve!
Jen hovers but cannot bring herself to touch Maeve. She is like this for a long time. Jin begins to weep quietly at the edge of the pullout. Maeve stirs. Jin wipes her tears.
Jen? Jen? What's wrong? Jen? Hey. Hey, what's wrong? You're scaring me. Jen, say something.
Everything is about to change, isn't it?
What? No, it doesn't have to. I won't let it. I won't let you. I love you.
Maeve falls asleep with her arms around Jin. Jin weeps silently. Maeve and Jin play a game of sorry. Jin is losing. At some point, it becomes clear that Jin can't win. Jin flips the board. Jin does not say sorry. Jin and Maeve asleep on the pullout. A warm breeze blows through an open window. Jin smiles and squirms sleepily as Maeve does something to her under the covers. Jin bolts awake with a start, panicked.
Fuck! What day is it?
Saturday?
Fuck!
She begins to clean in a flurry. Maeve is still limp underneath the covers.
Come back to bed.
We have a showing at 10. It's 9:45.
Showing of what?
Of the house.
Maeve emerges.
You didn't tell me about that.
Would it have made a difference to you?
Yes. Jeez.
Maeve takes off her shirt. She wanders around the space, getting in Jin's way.
What are you doing?
I'm looking for a clean shirt.
Can you put a dirty shirt on in the meantime?
What's the problem?
If the buyers walk up and see you...
These tits will definitely up the property value, now don't you think? I mean, wouldn't you buy a house if you knew this piece of ass once roamed among these walls?
Put your pants back on.
I'm looking for pants.
Jin is trying really hard to concentrate on cleaning.
I can't concentrate when you're...
When I'm what?
You are so...
So what?
Get your pussy off my ass. This is not consensual.
Which one of us doesn't want this?
God damn it, you are so
Maeve
irritating.
cuts off Jin with a kiss. Maeve pulls away ever so slightly. Jin begins ripping off her clothes.
You have 2 minutes.
Maeve flounces away.
2 minutes to what?
Maeve is bent over, searching through a pile of clothes. Jin screams, runs across the room to Maeve, who laughs wildly and runs into the storage room. Jin tears after her. There's a series of crashes. Maeve laughing, Jin cussing. Maeve darts out, hurdles over the pullout, runs into the kitchen. Jin bursts out wearing less clothing, screaming,
You are such a fucking...
I'm a what?
Jin clangs into the kitchen.
A fucking... What are you doing up there? Fuck me, your asses.
A cascade of pots and pans as Jin clamors to pursue Maeve.
Fuck! Watch the burner!
Maeve's protest is lost in a series of muffled gasps. There is a knock on the door. The place is a wreck. Jin and Maeve are naked on the stovetop.
God, you make me so irresponsible.
From the kitchen, we hear shattering as Maeve pulls plates, saucers, anything fragile from the kitchen cabinets and begins to toss them onto the floor.
Why are you doing this?
I'm gonna show you what's left when all your beloved shit disappears.
You told me we could build a life together.
House isn't a home, Jen. It's just 4 walls and a roof.
Half a roof. Half a roof when you told me you would take care of me.
You told me you loved me.
Fair enough.
Fuck you.
No thanks.
I'm serious. Fuck you. And you're cynical. God, you're so fucking superior, aren't you? You think you're too good for this place. Just fuck your stupid face. Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me. Don't.
Silence. Then the thud of a violent kiss hitting a solid surface.
You don't know how to leave me, do you? Do you know how I'll leave you? Through that door. Simple as that.
Maeve comes into the living room, shoving objects into her bag.
You won't leave me. You're too in love with this fucking house.
She looks around the living room. She slams the bag to the ground. Jen watches from the threshold.
That isn't fair.
This isn't fair. None of this is fucking fair.
What's supposed to be fair about losing a home?
I don't care about the house. I feel like I'm losing you. God, it is just a house, Jen. You are my home.
Yes. I am a place that you own. I'm the place you come home to. You wipe your dirty shoes on me. You stack your dirty dishes in my sink and leave your leftovers in my fridge. You paint me any color you like. You rearrange my furniture. You open my windows and forget to close them when it begins to rain. You store your junk in my spare room. You forget to pay my electrical bill. You leave coffee stains on my countertops. You use up all my hot water while you're touching yourself in my shower. You never make my bed. You lock me up before you leave me.
That's not what I meant. You keep me warm. You keep me safe.
I do not want to be your keeper.
I will run away from you before I ever let you leave me.
Oh, grow up. I'm right here.
Yeah? For how much longer? You're changing right before my eyes.
Quit being dramatic. I'm rising to the occasion. Somebody has to.
I don't know who you are anymore.
The foundation of the house begins to tremble. Jen trembles. From wherever she's watching, Juniper trembles.
You don't know who I am? I don't know who I am without you. You take too much. You took so much of me and then took up space in the hole you created inside of me. Who am I supposed to stay for you, Maeve? I didn't ask to love somebody this much.
Jen begins gathering objects and throwing them into Maeve's bag.
I didn't want to want any of this much. Get out of me. Get out of my life.
Jen shoves the bag into Maeve. Maeve lets the bag fall to the ground. A breath. Maeve leaves. Jen picks up the bag and throws it at Maeve. The door slams. The house is eerily still. Juniper waits for Jen to go after Maeve, but Jen doesn't move. Jen doesn't move. Jen doesn't.
No. No. No, 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 Maeve!
Juniper runs, yanks open the door, and screams for Maeve.
Maeve! Maeve!
The holler is still. Juniper walks into the living room, a ghost of herself.
She'll come back. She'll come back.
Jen sits on the sofa and waits. Dawn again in the living room of Juniper and Blake. Juniper stands in the middle of the room, looking at the place where Maeve was. A knock on the door. Jen jumps up to answer it. Blake walks into the living room.
Blake? Blake, where's Maeve? Blake? Where did you go?
I left. I got as far as the interstate, then I came back.
Where did you take Maeve?
I left her here.
But she's not here. Where is she? Are you crying?
We're going to start today over again.
Blake goes to the bathroom. She brushes her teeth. She washes her face. Juniper stands immobilized in the living room. Blake exits the bathroom, walks the length of the living room to the kitchen. She grinds some coffee beans. She returns to the living room with toast and coffee. She sits in a chair and faces it towards the windows. The sky is just changing colors and the sun is peering through the pine needles, through the windows into the living room. The mid-morning sun rises on Blake. Blake and Juniper exist in the living room together for some time without talking.
There's more coffee in the Chemex. I can make you toast if you want me to make you toast.
Where's Maeve?
If you ask me that again, I will leave.
She left? I mean, did you drive her into town?
I'm giving you and us both the chance to try this again.
But she was just here.
You can't say it's unlike her to disappear without notice.
You can't say that.
I'm sorry.
Never mind.
You could say sorry too, if you want, and I will accept your apology. It can actually be that simple. We don't have to drag this out all day.
Yes, we do.
Juniper gets herself some coffee and toast from the kitchen. She sits in a chair on the opposite side of the room.
Did you sleep well?
I didn't sleep with Maeve last night.
That's not what I asked.
You weren't curious? You don't have an opinion on it? You're mad at me? You're mad at me.
I'm not mad at you.
Are you sure you're not mad at me? Because your rising sign is Taurus.
Blake is close to exploding, the way leaves rattle a storm's warning. Blake picks up her dishes and Juniper's.
Are you finished?
Juniper doesn't respond. Blake takes the dishes to the kitchen. Juniper stares out the window. We hear Blake wash the dishes by hand. The garbage disposal growls. She returns to the living room with the New York Times. Juniper goes to the bathroom and brushes her teeth. Blake begins to work on the crossword puzzle.
"11-letter word for a person who might suit you well. First letter H."
Juniper washes her face.
Let's fuck.
Huh?
Juniper dries off her face, stands in the bathroom doorway.
I said let's fuck.
I'm busy.
I want to fuck you.
Blake sets down the puzzle.
I want to know when you were planning on telling me that you used my money to fix up the house that you shared with your ex-girlfriend before she killed herself or disappeared, or whatever version of the story you want to tell me this time.
Our money.
Excuse me?
You said your money. We share joint accounts. This was a mutual investment.
This is absurd.
On our first date, when I asked you beach or mountains, you said mountains. And these are the best mountains I know.
Do you realize how insane you sound? All of this is psychopathic. How long have you been? Did you think? What were you thinking? What did you think would happen? What did you want to happen, Juniper? What do you want? I haven't given you anything you want from me. I want to share life with you. So why the fuck did you take advantage of me? Do you have any idea how ridiculous this makes me feel? I trusted you. I didn't pry. I don't ask you about your past or who you were before we met because you want to keep something for yourself. Fine. I respect that because I respect you, but don't fucking use that privacy to take advantage of me. You made me go through the whole evening with Maeve, needling me and knowing that all she had to do was wait for me to turn my back and you would fuck her. Fuck, Juniper. You just sat there and watched that smug little cunt smirk in my face.
I love this house. I wanted you to love it too.
A moment in which they both contemplate accepting this as the truth.
We have to leave.
Blake goes to the bedroom and begins to pack.
Put some clothes on. We're leaving in 10 minutes.
I want you to fuck me. Like not gently. Like, pin me to the floor and ram your dick in me. You know, slap my ass, pull my hair, like, reclaim me.
Juniper, I am processing whether or not I can continue being in a relationship with you. Pack your things. Don't test me any further.
But that's what I want.
I'm not playing that game.
What game?
I find it belittling when you want me to be jealous. I sat through an entire evening of your ex-lover making lewd comments at you because I trusted you loved me. I love you, Juniper. I love you. Can't you understand how this hurts me?
You don't think it would be hot?
Blake rushes to the bathroom. We hear her retching. Eventually, Blake emerges.
I don't know what possessed you to do any of this. I am going to wait in the car and give you time to say goodbye to this place.
It's too hot to wait outside.
Juniper, I cannot be in this house.
Suit yourself.
Blake looks at Juniper. She kisses Juniper's cheek.
Haberdasher.
What?
A person who might suit you?
Who's a person who might suit me?
It was the answer for 4 across.
Oh.
Blake waits for Juniper to kiss her. Juniper doesn't move.
I love you and am willing to unpack this situation back at our home.
House.
Blake leaves. She leaves the door open behind her. Juniper is still for a long time. She begins to throw some belongings in a suitcase. She abandons the suitcase to walk around the living room, touching the house she has built for herself. It is reverent and searching. Jin unpacks Juniper's suitcase. The sun pulls shadows across the living room, an entire day passing in the quiet of the house. Juniper walks to the windows. She presses her hands to the pane. The sun sets on Juniper. She walks to the door Blake has left open for her. She closes the door and locks it behind her. Juniper turns around to face her dark house. Just as she is silhouetted by its shadows, Juniper and Jin see each other.
Thanks for sticking around and hanging out with us today. We've got a talk back coming up, but I wanted to do a non-conventional Zoom curtain call. But I want to thank all my actors today. Playing Blake is Tashira Pravado, and playing Jin is Susan Swavely. Playing Maeve is Katie Leitner. Playing Juniper is Christine Hellman. And I would like to thank Gabby Walker for reading our stage directions, and Ginny Ives for holding down the ship as our stage manager. Thanks so much for joining us. We hope you'll stick around for the talk back with our playwright.
Hi everyone! Thank you so much for joining us today. We're so excited to be here bringing you the talk back for Down in the Holler. Some introductions are in order. We have Christine Hellman, who played Juniper in the reading. We have Miss Tashira Pravado, who played Blake. Susan Swavely played Jin. Miss Katie Leitner played Maeve. We have Dewey Scott Wiley, our director. Our playwright, Val Dunn, and our producing artistic director, Mr. Chad Henderson. Thank you guys so much for being here today. I'm going to start off with a question for Val. So, when reading the play, one of the things that stuck out to me, one of the things that made my heart all warm, is the fact that it was set in the Shenandoah Valley, because I'm from there. But I wanted to ask you a little bit more about why the Shenandoah Valley. Why was that important to your story?
Yeah, so I grew up in like Western Maryland, and spent a lot of time camping in the Shenandoah Valley. So that place has always held special memories to me. But more significantly, I wanted to put some rural queers on stage because so often when we see queer characters, they're in the city, usually New York City, and queers exist out in the country too. And it's beautiful and ethereal out there. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, along that same line, in our pre-interview that we put out last week, you did mention that specifically one of the reasons that you wrote this play was because you wanted to tell lesbian stories. We look at the LGBTQ theater canon, and sometimes we only see, a lot of the time, male queer stories. And so I wanted to ask you, do you have any specific lesbian influences in the theater, or do you feel like that's a hole that you're filling with a show like this?
I would say it's a hole that I'm filling with so many other amazing queer and lesbian artists right now. But certainly when I was first starting to write plays, I guess like even just like 8 years ago, I struggled to find mainstream representations of lesbians, whether in theater or film or TV. And now we have had this amazing influx of characters and like across mediums. Obviously there's still so much more work to be done, but yeah, I definitely wanted, I wanted to write a play that if I had found it when I was 15 or something, it would have resonated with me and clarified things for me and made my heart sing. And I hope that it can reach people who need to see the stories of lesbians just existing together, without it being like a coming out tale or a tale of tragedy, but one that has like heart and a full spectrum of human emotions.
That's great. So Dewey and also Christine, you guys have been instrumental in bringing intimacy work into Trustus over the past year or so. Can you all talk a little bit about how that intimacy works in the virtual realm?
Well, it's tricky, right? Because we so wish we were in the same room together right now. And so, Christine and I talked about it for a while, and she came up with some of the exercises. She's gone to a lot more of these intimacy director workshops in New York and things than I have. And she came up with some great exercises that we did to get them to connect with each other. And they would just pin their videos, and I would go off camera and just suggest things to them. And it was really powerful how well it worked. Christine, you want to add to that?
Yeah, this was such an interesting experience because this play is so beautifully written and all of this intimacy and all of these connections. And I think the challenge was, well, how do we connect to one another in a reading over the internet, And I think the way intimacy direction works is so beautiful. It's because it's not necessarily about the touching, it's not about the physical connection. It is about what happens in that space between two people. And the beauty of intimacy work is if we can't touch, or if someone has a boundary, then how do we create that sense of intimacy in just a really creative way? And so thank you, Val, for writing such a beautiful play with these descriptions of this intimacy and the stage directions, because it allowed us to connect with each other by listening and by, sort of trying to make eye contact with the Zoom. It was really fun. It was really great.
It worked. I edited the show, and so getting to watch it felt like I was a fly on the wall with you all. I think it was so effective. For my cast, I was wondering, so you all know this play in and out. You spent a lot of time with it in, online, digitally. is there anything that sticks out to you that you all are excited to see on stage once we finally get to mount it in 2022?
Can I go first?
Yes?
I think just the realness of the house and bringing the house out as a character, because I felt like the house was its own character, or at least an extension of Juniper and Jen. So really bringing that to life and having it kind of resonate with the audience that way. You know, when Juniper starts to get uneasy, the house is uneasy and hindering and things like that, like it says in the stage directions. So I think that was maybe the only piece of it that we really needed to, explore. So I'm excited about that.
I also love the moments when there's no one on stage and they're yelling to each other off stage. And I know we recreated that a little bit with, turning off our cameras. But I think when that's actually on stage and you get to see the bareness of the stage and hear the voices, that's going to be so beautiful. And I really, really want to see that.
I thank Christine and Yui for really pushing us along with intimacy. But I will say that even though we were able to connect, there was those moments of silence that you could not see that I am really excited to see on stage. I know that those are going to be very communicative and quite beautiful.
Yeah, and I think that the viewing audience today isn't aware of this, but on the page there's a lot of like Maeve, Juniper, Blake, Juniper, and it has their name as if they were going to say something, but there's nothing being said verbally, right? So we tried to still evoke those looks and those moments, and that's why there were what may have seemed like ratcheting up the tension kind of pauses in the script, but I think that's going to be really fun to play in the space too.
Definitely. Christine and Susan, so you all play the same character in totally different places in her life. Did you all have any sort of conversation or any sort of work that you all did to connect Juniper and Jen?
Well, I was lucky enough to watch Susan and Katie working when they were working their scenes with Dewey. So I felt like I got to be a fly on the wall of of Juniper's own life, and that gave so much information. So that was, I love that. I love being able to sort of look at someone else's process as if it were memories of my own. That was really informative.
Yeah, I think something really similar is I got to watch you, Christine, work and see the flavors you were giving Juniper and then kind of put those into Jen as well. And the way the script is written is so beautiful that a lot of Act 1 and 2 echo each other, and we see the origins in Act 2 that we see happen in Act 1. And so I think the way it's written really is it helps the characters connect to each other and create the same character in different parts of her life and in completely different situations, but still have the same essence and heart.
Yeah, getting to rewatch it, I didn't realize how many times things echoed back and forth. One that hit me really hard watching it today was when Jen tells Maeve to be a lawyer, and it was just it just hit different today. But also one of the things that I didn't hear the first time when I got to sit in with you guys on your dress rehearsal kind of Zoom, I didn't catch that Blake was a rising Taurus the first time. I think that is so funny, and I would love to talk more about the zodiac signs of the characters in Down in the Holler, please. I'm not sure if you have specific signs, Val, but I would love to know more about the charts of the characters.
I'll work on that. I had an actor in Philly who, Hannah Gold, who played Juniper, and was instrumental in developing her. She's very into astrology, so she helped me sort of plot out some rough charts. So I'll have to dig up those notes and send them along.
Yes, I'm excited to see them. All right. I'm checking in with our audience. They're just so enamored with what we're talking about. Let's see. I think my last question for you all is, what do you all think you're taking away from the experience of working on virtual theater rather than working on stage? I know that it can feel like there's a disconnect or it feels different, but what do you all think you're taking away from the experience of working on a digital show like this?
Well, this is like my 5th digital show I've worked on. I've worked on 4 for a theater company this summer. And I was so grateful, though, because this one it's just so much more intimate. And I find it so relatable. But I just felt like the intimacy work plus the intimacy of the play made it feel less disconnected than most virtual experiences I've had. And so I was really grateful for that. I mean, I think it's really great to be able to connect with wonderful playwrights and great actors, and just still to be making theater and give Val something hopefully valuable that she can take away from the reading, and get our audiences excited about what's coming up. So it was really fun.
I think something that I'll take away from this is my first virtual show, is that we can do this and our art will endure and adapt no matter what. And it's not something that is just going to get swept under the rug. We're always going to create this way because there are so many talented people who are going to make it possible by editing and writing, and I'm just so thankful that I got to be part of it.
It's an amazing job editing, by the way.
Oh, thank you all so much. I had so much amazing stuff to work with. Chad was hugely helpful in sourcing a lot of that material, and the play itself is so beautifully written and so many beautiful images in it. It was so exciting to put it all together like that. Chad, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, I was just... I even said to Abigail during the reading, I was like, I don't know if I really need to be in the talk back, but I kind of just, wanted to be part of the Brady Bunch scenario here. Like for me, I'm with you, Susan. Like I feel like what happened to us for a while is that we just purely kind of just said, let's stop, because we're not, it's about that communal experience. It's about being in the room. And I literally just had, even though it was very different, I got to share that because Abigail's running everything. Her office is now a studio, but the rest of the staff was sitting and looking and enjoying and enjoying a story that was the work of this theater and the work of this playwright, and all of it coming together was really exciting. And it just we had those connections, we got silent and took things in. We reacted with laughter, and so the communal experience was there. And I hope that other folks out there are having a similar experience, but I think for me, we just keep learning how to do this, and no one's an expert right now. Everyone's in a laboratory. Everyone's doing an experiment, and so it was really cool to see how everyone trusted the artists in this group to do something. Because I know, you didn't get to see Julie as the director, what that media would do to it, as well, kind of turning it into a film element rather than just a Zoom reading. But it's just, there was a lot of trust in the room, and you can tell that there was a lot of trust built with the actors, and of course Val, as soon as she ever said this play to us, that was an act of trust, sending it out and hoping it was chosen. And so I'm just very grateful to all of you and everyone who watched today as well. This is what we're doing right now, and everything will be different. The next thing that's coming up is going to be very different as well. And I think it's even more fascinating that we all just watched this together in different places. Val's in Bristol, Christine's in Queens, the rest of us I think are around the Columbia area. And now we're all together in a virtual room, so community can endure. So I'm very, very excited about it, and we'll see what happens when we remember how to walk in a space. But thank you all. Thank you everyone watching, and thank you to this entire team. It was really special, so thank you. And thank you, Val, for trusting us.
Thank you guys so much for joining us today. I had so much fun talking with you guys. And thank you, audience at home, for getting to join us. Please join us at trustus.org if you're interested in donating to help us continue to create work like this. And also information on Fest 24 Homecoming, our October event, and our virtual screening of the Thanksgiving play by Larissa Fasthorse. Thank you guys so much for joining us for this reading for Down in the Holler. We're excited to see it on stage in 2022. But until then, we will see you later. Bye, guys.
Friends, usually at this time of year would be beginning a brand new season, and it's just not possible at present. We need you now more than ever. So today we're launching the Producer Circle, our new annual fund to sustain the future of Trustus Theater. If you have a special place in your heart for this theater, we hope you'll join today and become a supporting member of our annual fund. Thanks to new online giving options, you can make monthly or quarterly recurring donations at trustus.org. These recurring donations will give Trustus the ability to support the theater's operating expenses during the pandemic, as well as give us the ability to create new streaming events and prepare for our return to live performance. As ticket buyers and contributors, your support has made it possible for Trustus Theater to present award-winning contemporary and original works for 35 years right here in Columbia, South Carolina. Truly, we are here because of you. There are benefits to becoming a member of the Producer Circle, and with recurring donations, your membership will build to new levels over the course of the coming year. Friends, please support us through this moment. We know that so many are facing a difficult time, but all donation levels are meaningful to our sustainability and essential to our resilience. Join the Producer Circle today so that we can gather again in your theater home. We miss you, and we hope you're safe and well, and we can't thank you enough.